Going live. Hey, you are looking live at Sold Out Giants Stadium, where today the 16-0 New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Washington Commanders. Why the Washington Commanders 0-16? Because they suck. And welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody at all out there, anybody at all going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening? From the bottom of my heart, I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Or anybody who's going to spend any time at all watching a replay of this, once again, from the bottom of my heart, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight, as I always do. All right, anybody got anything to say, just fire away, throw in the chat box. I check on the chat box. I get every 5 minutes or so or whatever. So anybody's got anything to say, I usually, I see it, I respond to it. So please be my guest. Fire away. Now, before I get started, anybody who wants to help support my channel, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box, with the top link, okay, it's you click on it, it takes you to like my membership pages, I guess. I don't really know because I haven't clicked on it myself, but I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's the Saquon. The second one's called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third one is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them and all and everything. And there's loyalty badges. There's emojis. As of right now, I got 4 emojis. Eventually there'll be a 5th emoji coming out. But I had the emojis made up on Fiverr, and they're pretty cool. I get I get a kick out of them every time I see them. But as I said, there's loyalty badges, so please, if you want to help support my channel, once again, it would mean the absolute world to me. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please click on that subscribe button below and hit the bell icon. That way, next time I go live or I put out a video, you'll be notified, and it's free of charge. And then finally, also in the description box below, there's 3 more links, 3 additional links. Right, the first one is I have there's the group, the top one there's 3 Facebook links. The top one is for the group, a Facebook group that I have. It's called, oddly enough, it's called the Gridiron. All right, very original. We got 1,900 members in there as of right now. Okay, so please feel free to click on that link and become a member. And also, what I try to do in there is every day I try to put at least 5 or so, if not more, posts in there to try to keep everything fresh and everything. And that's usually like 7 days a week. So every day I'm spending time in there posting stuff, right? And also not only that, but because it's in a group, the group members post in there as well too. So not only am I putting stuff in there, 4, 5, 6, 7 things a day, but some of the members are putting stuff in there as well. Okay, so please feel free, click on the link and become a member of the group, the Gridiron. And then underneath that, there's 2 more links. Okay, they're both pages. The bottom link, all right, is there's it's called This Day in Giants History, which I'm not, as of right now, that active in right now, because I'm spending a lot of time on the YouTube channel, in the group, and in the other page that I have. So I don't have a lot of time to devote to that one. But in the future, I will be spending a decent amount of time in that one. It's called This Day in Giants History. If you want, please click on that, like that, and follow it. Okay, because that one will be taken off. Probably might be more toward the end of the season. I'll be spending more time on that one. But the middle link there in those 3 Facebook group links, okay, in the description box is another. It's the page that I'm in charge of that I run. It's called, obviously enough, it's called the Gridiron, and it's called the page. As of right now, it's 383 people like it. There's over 1,000 people following it. All right, and it's the same thing there. Click on that link, like it, follow it. Right, and just ways with the group. Every day I'm in there putting stuff in there. As I said, usually I'm putting at least 5, 6, 7 things in there. And the thing with this is that because it's the page, I'm the administrator, so I'm pretty much the only one who can post in there, put anything in there. So I try to make sure I get plenty of things in there every day because, like in the group, other people can post stuff in the group. but not on the page, right? So I always try to make sure I put a bunch of things in there. As I said, that's 7 days a week as well. So, and I try not to commingle the two. Whatever, for the most part, whatever I put on the page, I don't put in a group for the most part. Okay, so it's if you become a member of the group, and if you go to the page and you like that when you're following it, right, you really won't see the same posts. All right, so as I said, I always try to put new stuff in there. And I'll tell you what, the page is really, really doing good. I'm getting 30, 40, 50 people every day following it. Right. I mean, it was just about a week or maybe about 2 weeks ago. I had like 500 or 600 people following it. Now I'm up over 1,000. It's tough to say exactly how many I'm getting every day, because once you hit 1,000 followers, it just says 1K. Now, I don't know if I get to 1,100, if it'll go 1.1K followers or not. But as of right now, it just says 1,000 followers. But I mean, that one's really, really doing good. So please become a member of the group, like and follow the page. You won't be disappointed. And as always, money back guarantee, all right? If you're not happy. All right. So with all that stuff said and done, all right, let's get down to the nitty gritty, the injury report. Now the Giants, okay, they got some good news. All right. And of course, since we're talking Giants football, we got to have some bad news, right? Oh, my goodness. All right. So we got the Giants have had several players listed on the Thursday injury report experience a status change. There were quite a few of them. All right. Status change. Some were for the good, some were for the bad. All right. First, we'll go over the good. Okay. Richie James and defensive lineman Jihad Ward, both whom were in the concussion protocol. I mean, that could go either way. All right. Who didn't practice on Wednesday were limited on Thursday. Okay. And apparently it says it's still too soon to say if they're both available for Sunday night's game against Washington, but they're at least trending in the right direction. Okay, so that's good, because, I mean, I love Jihad. We can certainly use him on the field, but I mean, Richie James, I mean, we're starting to run out of wide receivers, right? Unless we're going to do like the wing T or something like that. We need as many wide receivers as we get on the field, right? Okay, so then we got the same can't be said for cornerback Nick McLeod, and here we go, outside linebacker Ellison Smith. McLeod, who is dealing with an illness, could not practice Thursday after being limited on Wednesday. So apparently he got a little bit worse. So I don't know if it's if he has COVID or exactly what it is, but as I say, the shame of it is that, he's in the secondary, and we're thin as it is in the secondary. So hopefully, and it's Sunday night, so hopefully maybe he'll be good in time, but we'll have to just wind up waiting and see. And there we go. I just freaking absolutely love this. And I don't mean, I mean nothing bad with Ellison Smith. Nothing. It's just so effing frustrating that the guy can't even stay on the field at all. Can't. It's simply freaking amazing. The guy gets injured in training camp and he can't even basically play at all during the regular season. Simply freaking amazing. Just like Shane Lemieux. Simply amazing. I'm going to get to Shane Lemieux in a minute here. Smith was downgraded after being limited on Wednesday and was placed on season-ending injury reserve. Absolutely freaking amazing. Ellison Smith. Last year, he played in 107 snaps, okay? This year, he played 14 snaps. 14 freaking snaps. He played in 4 games, all right, on defense, okay, defensive snaps. 14 snaps. All right, I'm not sure if he played special teams. Let me see, special teams. Let's see what we got here. Special teams. Okay, he played 51 special team snaps. Okay, so he had 51 special team snaps. All right. This year, 51. And then 14. So he had 65 snaps he played in. And that's his whole season. 65. He didn't play, I don't think, in the preseason. 65 snaps. Boom. Season's over. Absolutely amazing. And he's one of those that are going to be on the bubble without question, because he can't. Your best ability is your availability. And if you're Lawrence Taylor, oh yeah, they'll wait around for you. Oh yeah, absolutely. If you're Ellison Smith, nope. We'll see you. It's been nice knowing you, right? They traded away Kadarius Toney because why? Because he can't play. Guess what they're going to do with Ellison Smith? I ain't nobody going to trade for him, right? Bye-bye, right? I mean, I said I don't mean nothing bad, but I mean just simply amazing. It was just the same thing as last year. Last year he played in 107 snaps. Let me say, hold on. Okay, last season was 107 defensive snaps, special team snaps. Let me see. Okay, 107, 94. All right, so he had 201 snaps he played last year. Okay, basically that was his whole season. He did pretty decent. His special teams grades were last year were rather good. Okay, rather good. All right, which is a shame. You know, there's always. I mean, hey, if you're a good special teamer, there's always room for you. However, there's always room on a team for a good special teamer who can stay healthy. Okay. Right. So I mean, it's just simply amazing. A guy who can't play in the preseason, and this year he played in 4 games. This whole season's over. So on defense, 7 snaps against Seattle, 3 snaps against the Lions, 1 snap against the Cowboys, and 3 snaps against the Eagles, and the season's over. Unbelievable. His run defense this year, Pro Football Focus, he was at 34.8. His defensive grade overall, period, 29.9. Absolutely unbelievable. Guys just can't stay healthy. Simply amazing. So, quite possibly look for him to be replaced. Okay. And speaking of injured reserve, offensive lineman Ben Bredeson, who is in his final week of this 21-day window after being, from injured reserve, they open up a 3-week window. And after 3 weeks is over, you got to say either yay or nay. Either he's on the 53 or his season's over. So he's trending toward a return, which would be fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, Kafka said, I think Breads, I guess that's his nickname, did a nice job in practice yesterday. And I said offensive coordinator Mike Kafka. I think just take it day to day. Don't want to get too far ahead of it. All right. He's doing a nice job, and toward the end of the week, I think head coach Brian Dabes will have a good feel for what he wants to do with him. So it's either yay or nay. Okay. Now, I mean, the thing is with Ben Bredeson, okay, I mean, it's kind of the same thing with him. I mean, it's just last year he missed so many games last year he had a hand injury. He missed how many games did he play in last year? I'm looking on Pro Football Focus here. Yeah. He played in the first 3 weeks. He played, I guess last year against Atlanta, we lost Martinez for the season. We lost Bredeson from weeks 3 to he played week 3. His next time he came back was week 13 against Miami. So we lost him for like 9 weeks because of a hand injury. So, I mean, he missed a boatload of time. Okay. The nice thing with him, struggles in pass protection, but very good run blocker. Very good run blocker. Okay. Last year, his run blocking grade was a 75.7. Okay. Very, very good. So let's go to this year. Okay. It's the same thing here. I mean, he's been out since he played it was the B&B Music Factory in week 7 against Jacksonville. We lost Bredeson and we lost Bellinger, right? To injuries. Okay. So Bredeson got injured against Jacksonville in week 7. So hopefully with any luck, he'll be back this week, week 15. Right. So he's gone from week 7 and hopefully week 15. So basically week 8 to 14, he's been out. So kind of the same thing with him. I mean, he has a hard time staying healthy. However, once again, this year, okay, he's graded out at 56.1 overall. He had a rough game against Tennessee. However, his run blocking is not exceptional, but it's very adequate. Okay, he's had a couple bad games against the Cowboys, against the Titans as far as pass blocking. Okay, but his run blocking is decent. All right, so if we can get him back in there, I'm sure he'll be a help, especially when it comes to run blocking. All right, so I mean that would be huge if we can get him back, and it'd be even huger if the guy can actually stay healthy the final 4 games of the season. I don't mean, I mean, but it's just simply amazing, absolutely amazing. How you got guys like Dexter Lawrence, all right, who goes every play is getting double teamed and this taking on this and making a tackle, slamming guys to the ground, just getting up and doing his shaking and all this stuff, plays 60, 70 snaps every week, 60, 70 snaps, contact every down. And you look at the injury report, nope, he ain't there. Same thing next week. Contact, injury report. Nope, he's not there. Then you look at these other guys who run like one pass pattern, boom, they're Achilles hero. They're out for the season. It's like he ran 10 yards down the field, didn't get contacted, and his season's over with. It's like, it's simply freaking amazing. Then we're going to get to my other favorite guy on the injury. Well, I mean, Kadarius Toney is my all-time favorite, but I really can't pick on him too much anymore because he's with the Chiefs, right? But guys who did not participate in practice, Joshua Zudu with his neck. I mean, I feel horrible for him, but I mean, it's Adoree Jackson with his knee, Nick McLeod with his illness. Okay, we got Ellison Smith who's got put on season-ending IR. And then Shane Lemieux, okay, he's like probably my second favorite. Okay, last year he participated in 17 snaps, week 1. He was like, the second or third day of training camp last year, right? Boom, partially tore patella tendon. Like, I think it was like, there wasn't, I don't know, he was doing a drill or something like that. Didn't participate in any preseason games, absolutely nothing. Played in 17 snaps against the Broncos week 1, and is basically the first quarter of the first game, and his season was over. That was it. Boom. Gone. Right. Here is, I don't know, like 1 week, maybe 2 weeks in the training camp, bam, his toe. Did something with the toe or something like that. No preseason games, absolutely freaking nothing. The first 10 weeks of the season, absolutely freaking nothing. Against Detroit, he goes in, plays 39 snaps. He grades out at a 29.4. His pass blocking grade against the Lions was a 0. Okay. I mean, it's probably, he probably had a hard time, I guess, because of the injury. Kind of tough to pass block if you got a problem with your toe or your foot or something. So I get that. But I mean, the guy, it's simply amazing. He's played in 56 snaps the last 2 seasons. 17 in 2021 and 39 snaps. 56 snaps. This guy played 3,536 snaps in college. 35-36. That's the only reason why I remember this number off the top of my head. 35-36. 3,536 snaps in college. And he can't even make it to a preseason game. I mean, simply amazing. Once again, same thing with him. Look for him. He's on the bubble. He's on the outside of the bubble. And when they take a pin and they pop the bubble, he's going to be flying away. So look for him and Ellison Smith, their career here to be probably rather short because, once again, your best ability is your availability. And when as I said, when you're a Lawrence Taylor, yeah, they're going to wait for you. Oh, yeah. Lawrence, you take your time, buddy. When you're ready, you come on back. Your spot's right here. When you got a Shane Lemieux or Ellison Smith who can't make it through a training camp without getting hurt, look for them to be replaced, okay, without question. All right. So the Giants got some good news and they got some bad news, in the injury, right? So, but now I also saw this too, all right? The Giants could have some competition for Daniel Jones, right? Giants going to have competition with Daniel Jones after the season. From 4 teams might be interested, and in this article, this is from NJ.com. Plus 2 wild card teams could be interested in Daniel Jones, other than the Giants, right? Now we got in the article it says Joe Shane liked what he saw from Daniel Jones in the first 8 games of the season. But the Giants general manager also made it clear that he wants to see more before using owners John Mara's bank account to place the franchise stamp on a quarterback. And in Jones's case, the word franchise could have different meanings. We've got 9 games left. This was after, obviously week 8, right? Shane said during the bye week, I mean, for all these guys, it's going to be a continuing evaluation. We'll talk through it. What the market looks like, we'll have those meetings, but it's going to be an ongoing evaluation. We've had Daniel Jones for 8 games, right? It says here, okay, this is old. Yeah, it says the 9th game is Sunday at home against the Houston Texans. And if Jones can duplicate his level of performance in the first 8 games over the final 9, he will be a quarterback of interest to more teams than just the Giants. Oh, yeah. Now it says here, how do we know that for sure? Well, recent history. Flash back to a recent offseason, and you'll see that teams did not just look to draft to find their next quarterback, right? Indianapolis is a perfect example. 2 years ago, the Colts decided they were good enough to make the deep playoff run with an aging Phillip Rivers. So they gave Phillip Rivers, 39-year-old Phillip Rivers, a 1-year deal worth $25 million. They weren't wrong either. Phillips had a terrific season. The Colts went 11-5 and gave Buffalo all it could handle in the first round of the playoffs. That was a very, very good playoff game, if I remember correctly. Yes. Then Rivers retired after the season, but the Colts went back to the veteran, and for trading for Carson Wentz. Then one of the things, problems was also is that, they didn't draft early on, so it wasn't like they were drafting in the top 10 or so, so they had to, so their best option after Phillip Rivers retired was, to look for a replacement maybe by trading for someone. And they unfortunately traded for Carson Wentz. I don't think any other team is going to make that mistake because you'll notice the Commanders made that mistake. The Colts made that mistake. So this time it did not go so well as it cost the Colts 1st and 3rd round draft picks. So still, Indy tried again this season, bringing in 37-year-old Matt Ryan from Atlanta for a 3rd round draft pick. So, I mean, they've spent a lot of draft capital on just bringing quarterbacks in, and it's kind of cost them, right? It has been another miss for the Colts. They have benched Ryan in favor of Sam Ehlinger, who they drafted in the 6th round of 2021, and he's not the answer, okay? And the Colts aren't the only team to go the veteran route. The Falcons, in fact, replaced Ryan with Marcus Mariota, who's not the answer, right? Who had been a backup to Derek Carr with the Raiders the last 2 seasons, and after being benched in Tennessee 3 seasons ago in favor of Ryan Tannehill. That move was worked out nicely for the Falcons. Well, yeah, no. Mariota's not the answer. Mariota has resurrected his career, and the 4-5 Falcons are tied for first in the week NFC. Well, this came out weeks ago. Well, we can go on to other examples of veterans moving to new designations and attempt to solve a quarterback problem. But the point is that Jones certainly figures to be on the radar of NFL teams that believe a solid veteran can help make them the playoffs. Now, once again, this is Daniel Jones's 4th year. So next year, obviously, is year 5. So he's got plenty of experience under his belt. Then we got maybe Shane and the Giants will come to that same conclusion. If they do, they will have one of 3 decisions to make. All right, they'll have to sign Jones to a long-term deal, which would definitely make him the Giants franchise quarterback. I don't think that's going to happen. Place the franchise tag on him, which, according to Over the Cat, would likely cost the Giants $31.5 million for the 2023 season. Or C, place the transition tag on him, which would cost the Giants $28 million and give them the right to match any deal Jones negotiated with another team. Okay. What would be a fair long-term deal for Jones if he continues to play the way he did in the first 8 games and lead the Giants to their first playoff berth since 2016? The 4-year deal worth $118 that Tannehill signed in 2020 after leading the Titans to the postseason in 2019 would be a fair comparison. Tannehill was more experienced at the time he signed, but Jones is a lot younger than Tannehill when he signed that deal and far more of a threat with his legs. Absolutely. Should the Giants place the franchise tag on Jones, It would surely be the non-exclusive tag that would cost them $31.5 million, but guarantee them a first and a third round draft pick should another team sign Jones. Now, the thing is, if another team signs Jones, the other team's going to sign Jones, but then it's going to cost them possibly a first and a third round draft pick, right, if they sign Jones. So they're going to want to sign Jones and then give up a first and a third. And here it says in this article, it says no team is willing to give up that much draft capital. The transition tag would cost the Giants roughly $28 million and give the Giants the right to match any offer made by another team. Okay. Should the Giants choose to place the transition tag on Jones, it would make for an interesting scenario. What teams might have interest in a quarterback who throws for 13 touchdowns with 4 interceptions and runs for 6 more scores? Remember, just like Shane and Coach Dable, other teams will take into account that Jones is working with one of the worst. I'm going to have to say the worst wide receiving groups in the league. The worst, period, the way it is now, okay? Everybody, Dak Prescott, he's throwing up these numbers and woo, he's the man, and Jalen Hurts, woo, man, the greatest quarterback of all time, and this, that. Well, I'll tell you what, put those guys behind the Giants offensive line, okay, and give them the Giants wide receivers, okay, and let's see how well they do, okay? Yeah, they won't, okay? And so we have a list of teams that should consider Jones to be an upgrade over their current situation. Carolina. Yeah. Since 2018, the Panthers have started 8 different quarterbacks and garnered combined 24 and 50. They'll definitely be looking for a quarterback, but will likely be looking to draft one in the big 3. Yeah, I mean, probably with their record, there's a good chance they'll be drafting one of the big 3. Bryce Young, Will Levis, and C.J. Stroud. Jones is a North Carolina native, so the Panthers probably at least have interest in him. But Houston, but I don't, Houston could be looking to get a quarterback, but since they'll be drafted number 1 overall, they'll be taking either Bryce Young, Will Levis, or C.J. Stroud. Okay. It says the Texans know David Mills is not the solution, but they will select high enough in the 2023 draft to hinge their future on one of the top college on the top college quarterback. All right. Then we have the Colts. Unless Ehlinger proves us all wrong, he's not the answer. The Colts are going to be in the market for a new quarterback for a 4th straight year. But the top 3 guys will likely be gone by the time they make a selection. So that's a problem. Right. So now what are they going to do? Well, they got to have, since they can't, unless they're going to bundle up a bunch of draft picks and maybe try to get into the top 5, they got to look for somebody, maybe a free agent, or maybe, that's where Daniel Jones maybe comes in at, right? Got the Redskins, not the Redskins, the Commanders, Washington, Commanders. Wentz appears to be playing himself either out. Well, they got Heineke. So I don't know if that, if they think Heineke is the answer, a long-term answer or not, but Wentz is not the long-term answer. Okay. So, the big, huge problem with the Commanders, if they keep playing well, they're going to be drafting in the 20s. Okay. Is a stardom first-year quarterback, going to be at spot number 25 or 26, whatever it want to be in the draft for the Commanders? No. So, I mean, they're going to be on the lookout without question for probably a quarterback, right, to upgrade, right? And then also have here the Buccaneers. Should Tom Brady retire, Tampa Bay could also be looking for a veteran to replace. That would be difficult, however, because the Bucs will have $35 million in dead cap space because of the way Brady's contract is structured. Right. And also here it says, one last thought. Would the Jets be better now and in the future with Daniel Jones rather than Zach Wilson? Right. So you think about that as well, too. Right. So, I mean, without question, I mean, that's something, the Giants are going to have to certainly think about. I saw some other stats here. What do we got? Right. The Giants don't have a wide receiver among the league's top 70 in total catches. Yeah. Because Jones was supposed to throw the ball this year to Sterling Shepard, Kenny Golladay, Kadarius Toney, and Wan'Dale Robinson. and either between injuries or trading or just not being any good or whatever, his top 4 wide receivers, not there. I said, go to any team in the league, any team, take away their top 4 wide receivers, and let's see how good those quarterbacks do. Let's see how good Tua Tagovailoa is doing in Miami if you take Waddle away and Tyreek Hill away, right? I keep harping on the Eagles because I just can't freaking despise the Eagles. Take away, A.J. Brown, DeVonta Smith, and the best 2 other wide receivers. Take them away. Let's see how great Jalen Hurts is. Take ABC Lamb away from the Cowboys. Let's see how good the Cowboys are, right? Right? Yeah. I mean, same go to Patrick Mahomes. Wipe out his best wide receivers, right? See how well he does. You can put 19 guys on Kelsey, the tight end, cover him so he don't get open, right? It's, everybody, next man up, if your receivers suck, if you got 4 of me out there running around, you ain't completing no passes, right? And I don't mean nothing horrible against Slayton and all that, but it's just, there's a different level of, of ability, right? All right, here we got, and I saw also this other stat here, Daniel Jones is first 50 starts, compared to like the other Giants quarterback, his completion percentage is 63.5, which is Eli Manning's completion percentage after his first 50 starts, which was a 55.2. Right? Daniel Jones is second. Kerry Collins, his first 50 starts with the Giants, had over 12,000 yards passing. Daniel Jones is 10,900. Okay. But let's not forget, Daniel Jones' first 50 career starts with the Giants are his first 50 career starts, period. When Kerry Collins came here, he had been with Carolina for a few years, right? So he was kind of a seasoned veteran. All right. So he kind of knew, the ways of the world and all of that. So he had a little bit of a leg up on it. So, that's one of the reasons why, Kerry Collins has more passing yards in his first 50 games as a Giant than Daniel Jones does. Plus, also not to mention the fact that Kerry Collins actually had some, he had Tiki Barber. Kerry Collins, his last couple of years here with the Giants, he had Jeremy Shockey. He had Ike Hilliard, Jeremy Shockey. He had Amani Toomer. So he had some good guys to throw to. Okay. Unlike some of the guys Daniel Jones has to throw to. Right. So, Daniel Jones, all in all, I saw another thing here. I think it was against stats. That's that against Eli Manning. First 50 career starts, Daniel Jones. Okay, as I said, with Eli Manning, his first 50 career starts, he had Jeremy Shockey, right? Eventually he had Monty Toomer, but then you throw Plexico Burris in there, right? And he might have Ike Hilliard there. He had Jeremy Shockey, had Tiki Barber. He had that offensive line starting to gel, right? Seibert and Deal, right? O'Hara, right? Snee, McKenzie, right? Those guys played like 5-6 years in a row, almost every same guys, every down, every game, right? Daniel Jones, every game we have a different lineup in there, right? Eli Manning had 70 touchdown passes. Daniel Jones only has 57 because he has nobody to throw the ball to. But Daniel Jones only has 33 interceptions. Eli Manning had 59 interceptions his first 50 games, right? And we keep saying Daniel Jones, he's a turnover machine. He's horrible. Well, Eli Manning had more interceptions, had more than one interception per game. All right. Daniel Jones only has 4 interceptions this year, right? He's only thrown interceptions in 3 games. And one of them was the first game of the season, right? He had that stupid back shoulder fade, try to throw to Saquon Barkley in the end zone. But he threw 2 against the Lions, and then he threw 1 against the Cowboys, the final offensive play of the game when David Sills, I think, slipped or fell down, whatever it was. So Daniel Jones threw the ball where David Sills was supposed to be. He slips and falls down. Well, that's why he got intercepted. And of course, that happened to be the same play that Sterling Shepard ran, 10 yards, no contact, boom, season's over with. Daniel Jones has 1,543 rushing yards. Eli Manning only had 182 in his first 50 games. Daniel Jones has been sacked 146 times, okay, in his first 50 games, 3 sacks a game. Eli Manning's 83. Eli Manning was sacked half the amount of times. Why? Because he had a good offensive line. He pocket. That kind of helps, being able to stand in the pocket, okay? And of course, the record, too. Eli Manning was 27-23 his first 50 games. Daniel Jones was 19-30-1. Of course, without question, Eli certainly had a much, much better record. Now, of course, Spot Track has Daniel Jones maybe a salary of about $25.2 million. Now, a lot of what I keep hearing is that maybe the Giants try to go out of their way and maybe sign Daniel Jones to a kind of like a, everybody kind of win kind of deal, like maybe around $25 million, maybe signing them maybe like a 3-year deal, maybe where the Giants can get out after like 2 years if they want to, and maybe if need be. Not saying that they're going to want to or whatever, but, something where they can get out, right? Nothing exorbitant. Like I said, like $25 million is something, very reasonable. I said, but not going to want to sign into a long-term deal. I don't know if anybody signs him away. Even if somebody were to sign him away, I'd have a hard time believing somebody's going to sign him to like a 5-year, 6-year deal, whatever, 5 years, $175 million, that's, So it'd be interesting. It would be, actually, I think it would be in the favor of both the Giants, okay, and and Daniel Jones to work something out in the offseason. As I said, because another one of the things is that the familiarity, okay, with the offensive system. You want Daniel Jones. The more times he drops back to pass, obviously, the more familiar he becomes with the plays and the system and all that and everything, the better he's going to get. Right? You want him to go back there. You don't want him thinking. As I said, I've seen so many videos this year where guys are running like wide open. Daniel Jones is like maybe looking over here, and Darius Slayton's running down the sideline over there like wide open. Well, if Daniel Jones looked there, we got to complete. I mean, there was at least one video I saw against the Eagles. I think it was Slayton was wide open on the right-hand side. There was nobody near him, right? Wide open. Well, Daniel Jones was kind of looking in the middle, right? Well, maybe that's because he's, maybe if he becomes more and more familiar with the offense, more and more comfortable, maybe next year, right? You drop him back, he'll know where everybody's at. Right. I mean, because, you're thinking real fast. You got 3 or 4 guys out there and you got to know where each one is going and all that. I mean, in your first year in the system, this is going to be the first time they're running this play. Right. I mean, the playbook's what? Like that big? And he's got to remember everybody's going, all that. It's not that easy. The more times in the same system, right, the more familiar he'll become and the better he'll get. Right. So sometimes, instead of the videos I said, I've seen him where he's looking in one direction. There's a guy wide open on the other side of the field, and he doesn't see the guy. Well, maybe next year, because he's in the same system, familiarity, right? Maybe he'll look at the 1 or 2 wide receivers here, and he's like, oh, the third one's over there. Boom, he's wide open. Right? So I said the same thing with like with with Eli Manning. Okay. Now, he was with Kevin Gilbride for the longest time. Kevin Gilbride was there from 2007 on. I can't remember he was there till 2013 or 14 or something. I'm just going to click on him. I don't know if it'll pop up here or not. Let's see here. But, I mean, he was with the Giants for a long time, to 13, okay? He was their offensive coordinator from 2007 to 2013, okay? So we got 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 7 straight years Eli was in the same system with Kevin Gilbride. All right, 2007, obviously, the 2 times they went to the Super Bowl, right? Right? Eli Manning, was with Kevin Gilbride, right? But before that, okay, he was from 2004, 2005, 2006. John Huffnagel was the offensive coordinator. So basically, from 2004, 2013, 10 seasons, the first 10 seasons, Eli Manning, okay, was in the NFL. He had 2 offensive coordinators. Same coach, Tom Coughlin, right? From 2004 to 2013. 10 seasons, same coach, and he only had 2 offensive systems to worry about, right? He can drop back the pass. I mean, after you're in the same system for 2, 3, 4 years, I mean, you're seeing these plays in your sleep. I mean, you're dropping back. You know, I mean, you know, so and so is supposed to be, right? You know where all 3 or 4 wide receivers are at. You know what they're doing, right? There's no second guessing. You're like a ninja, right? You're just reacting. You start thinking, you forget about it. I mean, he got these guys barreling down on him, and he's trying to think. You're asking for trouble. As I said, I'm not saying Daniel Jones is ever going to be a Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes or something, but you got to give the guy a little bit of credit. You know, porous offensive line play. Okay, right? You know, and I mean, over the past however many weeks, kind of a lack of a running game, right? And shall we say, lack of receiving depth / talent, whatever you want to call it, right? So, as I said, put Daniel Jones behind the Eagles' offensive line, right? You got Kelsey, you got Lane Johnson, you got and then we go back a few years too, and they had Jason Peters there too. So they almost had like 3 Hall of Fame offensive linemen under offense, Hall of Famers. I mean, Jason Peters, I can certainly, without question, being mentioned possibly for the Hall of Fame, if not in the Hall of Fame. Kelsey, oh yeah, Hall of Famer. Lane Johnson, he hasn't given up a sack in like 2.5 years. Hall of Famer, right? You put Daniel Jones behind Hall of Fame offensive lineman where he can just almost stand back there, right? You know, for get some protection, and then give him A.J. Brown and Goddard, who's a very good tight end, very good. Okay, and DeVonta Smith, give those guys run around out there and let them throw the ball to those guys. Yeah, you know, he'll probably do pretty good. You know, so you got to give the guy, you know, it's tough. I mean, you're not seeing huge numbers from him, which is not good. Okay, without question, it's not good. But you know, you're not seeing, you know, a real huge amount of wins, right, which is not good. But then you also got, on the other hand, you know, well, when have we ever surrounded them with a bunch of talent? When have we surrounded them with a good offensive line? I mean, as I said, this is his 4th season. This is his 3rd offensive system. Shermer, 2 with the Clapper, all right, and 2 years with the Clapper, Jason Garrett, and this year with Dable / Kafka, right? So, I mean, let's give him a 2nd year, you know, and let's see how he turns out. I mean, I think he'll certainly do a little bit better, without question. So, well, any guys, it's been 42 minutes. Anybody spent any time at all listening to me? I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Or anybody spends any time at all watching the replay of this, once again, I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You guys absolutely rock. And as always, guys, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.